We will create the following 3D model using Catia V5. As you can see, what we have right here is what could be a wall right here. Right here I have like could be a platform, floor, and well, not and we have right here 2 columns with a triangle shape right here and right here, and finally we have 2 holes. This could be a rectangle and this could be a square, although we don't know that yet. So the first thing that we have to take into account here for us to create this 3D model using Catia V5 is the information within the engineering draw. So right here we have 3 principal views. This could be the front view, this could be the top view, and the lateral view. So this engineering draw was made by Luis Miguel Huerfano Garzón. And the second thing that we have to look for is the unit system that the engineering draw is using. That unit system could be millimeters, meters, inches, feet, whatever. That is usually found next to the dimension, and there is no information right here, or that is within sorry, that is within a box that usually goes right here. Within that box you can find information about the material, the person who did this engineering draw, the unit system, of course, the part number, the part name, and whatever. A lot of information, a lot of different information. Of course, that information has to be within the engineering draw, taking into account the normativity for that specific technical draw. There is none. So if you cannot find information about the unit system that it's using, and this is a rule, you can assume that these are millimeters. Alright, so once we have defined that these are millimeters, we're going to start creating a sketch, and this sketch must be the one that contains the most information possible. So right here we have 1, 2, and 3 views as I said before. Within this view I have 1, 2, and 3 dimensions. Within this view I have 1, 2, 3, 4 dimensions. Right here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensions. So I'm gonna start creating the 3D model using this view. Alright, so we're going to start using Catia V5. Start, mechanical design, power design. This is going to be our tutorial 18, I think. This is something that I always forget. Tutorial 18, I think. We have access to the Catia V5 part design of environment. So sketch, I'm going to select this plane. Why is that? Because I want that from this point of view to be my well, actually from this point of view, this face to be my front view, right? Because as it is right here, it is saying that this is the front view. That is not a mistake, but I want that from this point of view to be my front view, right? So I've chosen the lateral view, CX plane. In this case, we have access to the sketch design environment, and I'm going to create the shape that we have right there. I don't really care about the dimensions yet. I just care that this looks like the shape that we have there. So I've selected this tool called profile, As you can see, I'm going to do some mistakes on purpose for you to know how to solve these mistakes. So the first mistake that I've made is that this line should be horizontal. So I've selected, right click, line 5 object, and horizontal. The same thing goes for this one, but vertical. Vertical. As you can see, I've lost it. I'm going to look for a point right here and I'm going to move it. Alright, there is a mistake right there because I've created one line right here and it shouldn't be there. So I'm gonna eliminate this with the delete click, and I'm going to create once again the shape that we have right here, but assuming that this is already vertical. All right, this should be horizontal, so I'm going to change that to horizontal, and right there we have our shape. Then I'm going to define the dimensions. So I want to create the same dimensions that we have within the engineering draw. So right here I have this dimension, this one, this one, this one, and this one. There is one missing, or I have something that is not correct. Yep, that's right. There is here a point that is not connected with respect of this point. So I'm gonna connect these 2 points. Coincidence. Do you realize how I knew that this was a mistake? Because this line is white. That means that I have a degree of freedom right there, and I shouldn't have any. So if I can move it, there's a mistake that is not defined. Going to select this and coincidence. All right, everything looks good. I'm gonna change the values, so I'm gonna use the edit multi constraint, and this is why I didn't care about the values until now. It is going to show me in orange the values that I'm currently changing, in cyan the values that I've changed, and in green the values that I've not changed yet. Right, so this is 10, this is also 10, this is 70, this is 10, and finally this is 10. Preview, okay. All right, there is one way in which we can check that this sketch is correctly defined. Remember, you cannot have cross lines like this one for when you want to create a sketch using Catia V5. This is a mistake because everything must be closed, everything must be well defined for when you want to extrude something within Catia V5. So there is one way in which we can know that using tools, sketch analysis, and this is a mistake. I have a line right here because this sketch is already closed, it's well done, it is perfectly defined, but since we have this problem at the beginning of the sketch, I've created a duplicate of one line. So let me see if I can look for this line. Nope, this line look like a point. Is that small that I cannot see it. So what I'm going to do is to select it and use this option, delete geometry. Okay, everything is well, there's a mistake right there. This usually happens. So Control C, and I'm going to go back to the sketch analysis. It is going to show me once again this mistake, but I'm not going to use the delete option this time. I'm going to use the set it for construction purposes, set in construction mode. All right, that option does not delete the line that I create. That option like hides the line. Right, it's different to have this line that to have this one, because this line is going to be for construction purposes. It is not going to change anything for my sketch. For when I get out of this sketch, it is not going to be shown. All right, so everything is perfectly defined, everything is closed, as you can see right here, and I'm going to extrude it. Path definition tool. We have to select the sketch that we have to, or that we want to extrude. It is this extrusion, and I'm going to use this dimension for me to extrude it, 90. Right, so 90, enter. We have our principal shape. The next thing that we're going to do is to create a sketch, but recording this face. Why is that? Because I want that this sketch to be parallel to this face. Parallel, no, perpendicular, sorry. And I'm going to create this huge hole. All right, so I'm going to call these two lines right here, these two edges, using the project 3D elements, because I need them for me to create the sketch that I'm currently doing. So, okay, but I want them to be for construction purposes. So I'm going to select these two, construction. That would be all. Then I'm going to create a rectangle, but because I had this tool activated, everything that I do from now will be for construction purposes. So Control C, and I'm going to select these two and once again create the shape that I needed. Alright, as you can see, this has a dimension of 70 and is perfectly centered with respect of the 3D part. So what I'm going to do is to create right here a line for construction purposes. Then I'm going to say with this tool, the constraint definition tool, that between these 2 points there is going to be a symmetry line, and it's going to be this one. What this does is that line is going to be at the exact middle between the points that I just selected. And I'm going to say that between these 2 lines it is going to be as well a symmetry line, and it's going to be the same one. Alright, so I can be sure that this is perfectly centered. I just have to define the dimension 70, and that would be all. But I want to create this hole, and I can do it. So I'm gonna use this line, and I'm going to create this rectangle, but using a rectangle with respect of a center rectangle. Right here we have it. I'm going to say that this point with respect of this is going to be equal to 30, as the engineering drawing is telling me. This is equal to 35, and finally this is equal to 50. Alright, we have right there what we need. I'm getting out of this sketch, everything is defined, everything is well perfectly done. And then I'm going to select the pocket definition option, but the multi-pocket definition option. I'm going to select this, and it is going to show me in blue what part of the sketch do I want to create a pocket from. So for example, I'm going to select the big one, and I'm going to say that this has a dimension of 60 minus 10. Why is that? Because I need for me to create this hole. All right, so it is going to be 60 minus 10, and right here I have this dimension. So I'm going to say that this is 50. Preview, that is what I wanted, and I'm going to delete the center of this sketch. So I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to say that this is going to be equal to 60. Why is that? Because I want that this hole passes all through the entire 3D element. So 60 preview, and right here we have it. Okay, what's left is to create the hole that we have right here. That is this one. That would be all. So I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to select this face. Then I'm going to call, for example, this line. And that is actually all I need. So project 3D elements. We have done this before. Okay, I'm going to select this tool. I'm going to create square right here. Well, it's actually a rectangle. I want that this rectangle is with respect of the middle of the part, so I'm going to create an axis. I'm going to say that between these 2 points I have between these 2 points I have a symmetry line, that is this one, and with respect of this point I'm going to connect these two, coincidence. Then I'm going to say that this is 15 and this is as well 15, and with respect of this line I have a value of 25 with respect of the middle of the square. So 25, enter. Right here I have 15, enter, and right here I have 15. All right, tools, sketch analysis, everything is perfectly defined. Close. I'm getting out of the sketch, and then I'm going to create a pocket, but this pocket is normal, so pocket definition tool. Up to last, what this does is that it looks for a final face through the entire model, and it creates the hole until that plane, that is actually this one in this case. And that would be all, guys. This is how you could create it. You could create this 3D element using Catia V5.